The laughter hit me like a tidal wave, crashing over the sea of mortarboards and proud faces in the packed university auditorium. My sister's voice, amplified by the stolen microphone, sliced through the air. "That's my sister up there, the black cheater. She didn't earn that diploma, she just played the race card and cheated her way through." The words hung there, venomous and raw, turning my moment of triumph into a spectacle of humiliation. Whispers turned to tuckles, then full-bellied laughs from strangers who'd never met me, their eyes darting between us like we were some twisted reality show. I stood frozen on the stage steps, cap in hand, feeling the heat of 1,000 judgments burn my skin. Eleanor Worthington gripped the railing, her knuckles turning white against the polished wood. At 22, she dreamed of this day since she was a kid in our fractured Chicago home, the first in our family to graduate college, summa cum laude from Northwestern, no less. But Sophia, my older sister by 5 years, had always been the storm cloud over my sunshine. Adopted into the family as a baby after our parents' messy divorce, I was the surprise child from Dad's affair with a black woman from the South Side. Mom tried to love me, but Sophia? She saw me as the intruder who stole the spotlight, the affirmative action baby who got everything handed to her. Never mind that I had worked 2 jobs through high school, aced every test on my own merit, and earned scholarships that paid my way. To Sophia, I was always the outsider, the one who didn't belong. As the dean called my name again, his voice strained over the fading giggles, I forced my legs to move. The crowd's amusement lingered like smoke. A few coughs and awkward shifts in seats betraying the unease beneath. I climbed the stage, diploma in hand, flashing a smile that felt like cracking glass. Inside, rage simmered, a slow boil that had been building for years. Sophia sat in the front row, smirking, her perfectly coiffed blonde hair and designer dress screaming the privilege she'd always flaunted. Mom was beside her, eyes downcast, wringing her hands in that passive way that drove me insane. Dad? He hadn't shown up, as usual, probably nursing a hangover in some dive bar. This was supposed to be my victory lap, but Sophia had turned it into her petty battlefield. I accepted the handshake, posed for the obligatory photo, and retreated to my seat amid scattered applause. But as the ceremony dragged on, my mind raced. How had she gotten the mic? A quick glance revealed the AV guy's flushed face. He must have been one of her conquests from her endless string of hookups. Sophia thrived on chaos, always the center of attention. Growing up, she'd sabotage my report cards, spread rumors at school that I was stealing spots from real students. Once in high school, she anonymously tipped off the principal that I cheated on a math test. Pure fabrication, but it cost me a week of detention and a tarnished rep until I proved otherwise. College was my escape, but even there, she'd whisper to mutual friends that my admissions essay was plagiarized, that my grades were pity points because of my race. By the time the valedictorian speeches wrapped up, the dean's voice boomed again. And now a special address from one of our outstanding graduates, Eleanor Worthington, on behalf of the diversity scholarship recipients. My heart lurched. I'd prepared a speech about perseverance, about breaking barriers in a world that still saw skin color first. But now it was time to rewrite the script. As I approached the podium, the auditorium hushed, a mix of curiosity and residual mockery in the air. Sophia leaned forward, her eyes gleaming with anticipation, probably expecting me to crumble. I adjusted the microphone, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Thank you, Dean Montgomery. Family, friends, faculty, today is about celebration. But before I talk about the future, let's address the elephant in the room. A murmur rippled through the crowd. I locked eyes with Sophia, her smirk faltering just a fraction. My sister, Sophia, just called me a black cheater. Funny, isn't it? The whole crowd laughed. But let's unpack that, shall we? Because if anyone's a cheater here, it's not me. The words hung heavy, and I paused, letting them sink in. Flashbacks flooded my mind. The nights I'd studied until dawn while Sophia partied, the scholarships I'd earned through essays poured from my soul, the microaggressions I had endured from professors who assumed I was a quota fill. Sophia's jealousy stemmed from her own failures. She dropped out of community college after one semester, blaming everyone but herself. But her real secret? The one I discovered last year, buried in our family's tangled web. It started with an anonymous email to my dorm inbox, a scanned document from a private investigator Dad had hired years ago during the divorce. Turns out, Sophia wasn't Mom's biological daughter either. Mom had an affair too, desperate for another child after complications with Sophia's birth. No, wait, that wasn't right. The document revealed Sophia was adopted as well, but from a shady agency that faked records. More damning, Sophia had been using that knowledge to blackmail Mom for money, funding her lavish lifestyle while pretending to be the perfect white daughter in our blended family. I'd kept it quiet, hoping for peace, but no more. My journey here wasn't easy. I grew up in a home where love was conditional, where my achievements were dismissed as handouts. Sophia, you accused me of cheating because of my race, but let's talk about real cheating. The crowd was silent now, leaning in. Mom's face paled. Sophia shifted uncomfortably. You see, Sophia has her own secrets. For years, she's been living a lie. Our family isn't what it seems. Adoptions, affairs, hidden truths. But Sophia? She's the one who's been cheating our mother out of thousands, using forged documents to siphon inheritance money meant for both of us. Gasps echoed. I pulled out my phone, projecting a redacted version of the email onto the screen behind me, carefully edited to expose without fully doxing. This is from a PI report. Sophia knew she wasn't biologically ours, but instead of embracing our shared outsider status, she weaponized it. She faked bank transfers, lied about job offers to get handouts, and that black cheater line, it's projection. Sophia cheated on her SATs, hired a stand-in, as emails from her old tutor confirm. I have the receipts. The auditorium erupted in whispers. Sophia bolted upright, her face crimson. You liar! That's not true, she shouted, but her voice cracked, betraying her. Security moved toward her, but I held up a hand. No need. This isn't about destruction. It's about truth. Sophia, I forgive you for the bullying, the racism veiled as jokes, the attempts to dim my light. But today, I reclaim my story. Tears stung my eyes, but they were cathartic. The crowd's laughter had turned to stunned silence, then tentative applause as I wrapped up. To my fellow graduates, don't let anyone define you. Rise above the noise. Thank you. I stepped down to thunderous ovation, hugs from classmates who'd known my grind. Mom approached later, tears streaming. Eleanor, I'm sorry. I should have stopped her. Sophia vanished into the crowd, her empire of lies crumbling. Weeks later, she checked into therapy, cut off from Mom's enabling. Me? I started my job at a Chicago nonprofit, advocating for underrepresented students. My graduation speech going viral on social media as a beacon of resilience. The pain lingered, but so did the power. I had exposed the darkness, and in doing so, found my light. That night, alone in my apartment overlooking Lake Michigan, I toasted with cheap champagne. The city lights twinkled like stars I'd finally reached. No more shadows from Sophia's jealousy, just the open road ahead. Empowerment wasn't just revenge, it was freedom. But let's rewind a bit to flesh out how it all built to that moment. Growing up in our modest bungalow on the west side, family dinners were battlegrounds. Mom, a school teacher with tired eyes and a perpetual apron, would praise Sophia's artistic soul while glancing at my straight A report cards with a nod. Good job, Eleanor, but don't let it go to your head. Dad, when he was around, doted on me, his little miracle, which only fueled Sophia's fire. She'd sneak into my room, rip pages from my diaries, or, accidentally spilled juice on my homework. By middle school, the racial undertones emerged. Why do you get special treatment? Because you're black? That's not fair, she'd whine, echoing the Fox News rants Mom watched religiously. High school amplified it. I joined debate club, track team, anything to build my resume. Sophia, meanwhile, flitted through boyfriends and failed classes, blaming bad luck. The cheating accusation came senior year, an anonymous note in my locker, claiming I'd copied a term paper. Investigation cleared me, but the stigma stuck. I confronted Sophia once, in our shared bathroom, mirrors fogged from her endless showers. I asked her, "Why do you hate me?" She laughed, towel wrapped. "Hate? Please. You're just not one of us. Mom pits us against each other, but you lap it up." Her eyes were cold, masking the hurt of her own inadequacies. Deep down, I pitied her, abandoned by bio parents she never knew, clinging to a false narrative of superiority. But pity didn't excuse the cruelty. College was my sanctuary. Northwestern's campus, with its Gothic arches and bustling quads, felt like a fresh start. I majored in social justice, minored in psych. Ironic, given the family drama. Friendships bloomed. Marcus from the Black Student Union, who became my rock. Eleanor, my roommate, who hyped every win. But Sophia's shadow loomed. She'd visit unannounced, crashing parties, flirting with my friends while dropping snide comments. "Eleanor's so smart. Must be those diversity quotas." Last Thanksgiving, over turkey and tension, she escalated. "You're graduating? Congrats on gaming the system." That's when the PI email arrived, forwarded from Dad's old account I'd hacked into during a bout of curiosity. It detailed Mom's affair, Sophia's adoption fraud. Turns out the agency was shut down for falsifying birth certificates. Sophia had discovered it in her teens, used it to jilt Mom into funding her shopping sprees, failed businesses. Proof? Bank statements, emails begging for hush money. I saved it all, a digital arsenal for if she ever crossed the line again. Graduation day dawned crisp, May sun filtering through my dorm room. I donned my gown, cap tassel swaying, heart full. Family arrived late, Mom flustered, Sophia in heels that clicked like accusations. The ceremony began smoothly. Speeches on dreams, American grit. Then, as I cued from my diploma, Sophia struck. Grabbing the mic from the side stage, likely bribing the tech with her charm, she unleashed her venom. Black cheater. The phrase, laced with racial bile, echoed the alt-right trolls I'd seen online, but hearing it from blood, devastating. In the moments before my speech, I weighed options. Ignore? No, that'll validate her. Confront privately? Too late. Exposure was the key. Proportional, public, piercing. As I spoke, weaving facts with emotion, I saw her unravel. The projected docs sealed it. Blurred names but clear transactions. Timestamps matching her vacations. Whispers turned to outrage. Phones lit up, recording the takedown. Post-ceremony chaos, reporters from campus papers swarmed, turning it into a story on sibling rivalry and racism. Social media blew up. Hashtag exposed the truth trending locally. Sophia fled to her car, Mom chasing after. Me? Surrounded by supporters? I felt seen. Marcus hugged me tight. "You slayed, Elle." Months later, reconciliation trickled. Mom cut Sophia off, forcing her to get a job. Waitressing at a diner, irony thick. Sophia emailed an apology, therapy mandated. I was wrong. Jealousy ate me alive. I replied sparingly, boundaries firm. My life bloomed. Speaking gigs on empowerment, a book deal in whispers. The scar remained, but it fueled my fire. Looking back, that laughter was the catalyst. It stripped me bare, but in rebuilding, I emerged unbreakable. In America's melting pot, where family ties bind and bruise, I chose truth over silence. And damn, it felt good. The wind off the lake whispered promises as I sipped my drink. Tomorrow, a new chapter, unscripted by anyone but me.